As you are aware, we did receive a note indicating that the jury would like to hear Raul Valle's testimony concerning if he knew Tyler DaSilva was on the street when he returned from the Honda Pilot and they crossed paths. Did he recognize that it was Tyler? The video shows they crossed. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your continued deliberations. You do have the opportunity to have parts or portions of testimony played back to you upon your request. So you're first going to hear a clip of Raul Valle's testimony that occurred during direct examination. And then thereafter, you will hear an additional clip of testimony that occurred during the cross-examination of Raul Valle. There are speakers here. I would ask you to please listen intently. I'd ask everyone else to please try to be silent.
Could you see Tyler DaSilva at that point?
At one point, when I was at the car, I looked over and I saw Tyler DaSilva.
And what did you see Tyler DaSilva doing?
He was also on the ground getting beat on.
Could you tell how many people were beating him while he was on the ground?
I can't give a number.
And do you recall how many people were around you when you got shoved into the car, as you described it?
As soon as I looked back, the first thing I was looking for was Tyler.
Did you see any of the people that had just been attacking you?
Yeah.
Where were they?
Right on the edge of the lawn on the curb, somewhere on the street going back.
Did you see Ryan Hines anywhere?
No.
Did you know Tommy Connery before this?
No.
Did you know Ryan Hines before this?
No.
Did you know Faison Teal before this?
No.
Did you know Jimmy McGrath before this?
No.
You say you remember getting shoved to the car. Did you make it to the car eventually?
Yeah.
And what did you do when you were at the car?
As soon as I looked for Tyler, I saw him getting beat on.
What was Jack Snyder doing?
Nothing.
Did he say anything when you went to the car?
I didn't even open the car door all the way.
Why didn't you just get in that car and leave?
I saw my best friend. Somebody that loved. Nobody was helping him.
How did you feel?
It was still terrible, but I couldn't just let him be there alone. I felt like I had to save him.
Did you think that Jack Snyder was going to wait for you if you went back in there?
As to what Jack Snyder was going to do?
Did you have any indication that Jack Snyder was going to wait for you?
No.
You didn't open that door at that point and take out that knife and then go back and stab those 4 kids?
No.
You already had that knife when you'd been attacked on the lawn the first time?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
You weren't upset that you had been attacked and went back to get that knife? Had you known about that knife being in the car prior to that evening?
No.
When you got back to that car, you didn't get back into the car, right? Why didn't you just go running off back down the street, back down Farmhouse Lane, down Laurel Glen, towards Farmhouse? Why not?
He was my best friend. Looked at him like his brother. What kind of man would I to just leave him there?
What did you worry might happen to him if you left?
If he was in the same situation as me, I thought it was.
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation. So what would happen to Tyler?
What were you worried about if you left and ran down to the end of Laurel Glen, the Farmhouse?
That Tyler wouldn't have made it out of there.
What happened next?
I found myself right on the edge of the grass and the curb.
How did you get there?
Just remember being there. I think I ran over.
What did you see when you got there?
Just another wall of people.
Did you see Tyler DaSilva?
No.
Did you cross paths with Tyler DaSilva?
Yeah.
You say another wall of people. Did you see Mr. Hines, who had been on top of you before?
I think so.
And we're now going to play related testimony on police examination.
Now, at some point in time, you say you saw Tyler back on the lawn, right?
Yeah.
You still had the knife on you at that point, right? Knife was still out in your hand, right? And you come back into the fight, right?
Yeah.
Now, Tyler's being pushed into the street at this point, right?
Yes.
And you would agree with me that there are no Sheldon kids to the right of you, right? There's a car. We can see a car right there, right?
There's kids like right
There's kids in front of you,
to the right. Yes.
but there's no kids right to the right of you. There's a car. We can see the car. If there were, we wouldn't be able to see the car, right?
It's the street.
Right. There's nobody to the right of you, right? There's a kid in front of you.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of kids right
Right. There's a whole bunch of kids over here we can't see, but there's nobody to the right of you, right?
there. Kid right next to him.
There's a kid here. But I'm saying, is this you right here?
Yes.
Right. To the right of you, do you see a kid or a car?
It's the street.
That's the street, and there's a car there, right? So there's nobody to the right of you, right? There's a car.
Nobody in the street.
And there's nobody to the left of you other than Tyler DaSilva, right? So when you're going back in, there's the wall, right?
It's like this.
Right. But you're not surrounded at that. But you go back in, and Tyler's already pushed out into the street, right?
On my way back as he's.
But Tyler is no longer engaged in the fight. right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that. So you just blacked out and ran right back into the fold. That's your testimony today?
Being on the yard, it was just like a shoe horse of people.
A shoe horse, but not a circle. You were not encircled, right?
But was there anybody behind me?
Right. There's nobody behind you.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Right. So you could have, if you chose to, you could have left, could have retreated, right? So you could not have left because there were people around you.
Yes.
So you just said that there was a semicircle of people on the yard. Now you're saying that you were surrounded.
It was like this.
So semicircle, right?
Yeah.
Not a circle. A circle goes like this, right?
Yeah, I wasn't going to turn my back to that many people.
You weren't going to. I'd move to strike as non-responsive. You indicated when you made it back to the car, you were still terrified, right?
Yeah.
You were still scared. You came back in anyway, right? With the knife. And you ran over to the edge of the grass, right? And you passed Tyler, right?
Yes.
He passed you on your left, correct?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard the portion of the testimony that the court believes was relevant to answer your question. If you go back into the deliberations room and you feel that there is additional testimony that you need to put any of that testimony into perspective with whatever it is you're deliberating on, please just send out another note and we will do our best to answer any questions with any playback concerning any other issues or matters. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for continuing to follow the court's proceedings and procedure relative to the jury charge and your duty as jurors. I appreciate it. Thank you. You can go back into your deliberation.